Hello and good morning, friends of Sudoku. Today is June 19, 2023, and we are looking at the New York Times Hard Sudoku of today. Let's see. We seem to have 2's blocking down and blocking these 6 squares, and there's 2 blocks across, so a 2 must go here. 1 must go here or here, and therefore in one of these squares here. The 9 here or here. 8 and 1, by the way, must go in these squares, and therefore these must be a 4, 7, and a 6. We got a 6 blocking up, blocking these 2 squares, so a 6 goes here, and these must be 4 and 7 now. We got a 3 blocking over here and here, so a 3 must go in this square. And now a 7 must go here or here, because this 7 blocks here, and this 7 blocks this square here. We also have an 8 in one of these squares. Let's see, 1 must go here or here, and therefore here or here. But this 1 blocks this square, so here's a 1. So those seem to be the easy digits today. See if we can find a few more. I'm thinking that if these 2 squares must be a 4 and a 7, we are still looking to find for these 4 squares a 5, 9, 2, and a 3. We got a 2, 3, and a 5 blocking this square, so it seems as if this has got to be a 9. Now we have a 9 blocking down here and up here. One of these is a 9. We got a 9 blocking up here and down here. One of these is a 9. So it's certain that one of these 3 squares must be a 9 now. 4, 6, and 7 for these squares. So a 6 goes up here somewhere. And that's all we can say about the 6s, I think, at this stage anyway. But a 2, 3, 5 here now, and the 2 obviously blocks here and here. So here's a 2, and here's a 3 and a 5. And that gives me a 3 for one of these squares up here. But which one is unclear. But the 2's now, we got a 2 blocking down here and up here and across here. So here's a 2, and that makes this a 2. And these 2's here block these 4 squares. This 2 blocks these 3 squares. So here's a 2. So now we got a 7 in one of these squares here, and therefore in one of these 2 squares. But I think we mentioned that already, didn't we? Still a 4, 6, and a 7 here. So we've got 3's and 4's in 2 of these squares up here. But I'm not able to make any use of that little bit of information. A 7 blocks across here, 7 goes here or here, and therefore in one of these squares. This square must be a 5 or a 4. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. No such luck, but a 9. We need a 9 for column 4. This 9 blocks here and here. This 9 blocks here and here. So the 9 is forced to go in this square here. Now this 9 blocks across, so we got a 9 in one of these squares here, and these 2 9's block these 2 squares. So here's a 9. Now This 6 blocks this square. Therefore, we need a 6 for one of these two squares, and that 6 will block down, while this 6 blocks across, making this square 6. Here we're looking for a 1, 4, and a 5 now. And we are close, but not close enough. 3, 4, 5 for these squares. So a 3 goes up here, and I think we already mentioned that a 3 had to go in the top row. So here's a 3. And these are 4s and 5s now. The 4 blocks over. Here's a 5, here's a 4. Here's now a 1 and a 5. Still a 1, 8 here. Can we do something about that finally? I'm not sure. No. Just means that a 1 must go here or here. And the 8 blocks across. So an 8 must go in one of these squares here and therefore in one of these two. But it's still not good enough. 3, 4, 6, 7 here. 6, 3. This is a 4 or 7. Also still not good enough. We'll have to work a little harder somewhere else in the grid. Seems to me that this square must be a 9 because this 9 blocks this square. This 9 blocks this square, and we got 2 9s blocking these two squares. So here is in fact a 9. 3, 4, 5, 7 here now. So we got a 5 in one of these two squares, and we also have a 5 in one of these two squares. And that begs the question, where now can we place a 5 in column 1? It can only go here. And that gives me a 5 here and a 1 here, doesn't it? And here now we're looking for a 7 and an 8. The 7 blocks down, so here's an 8, here's a 7. Blocking up, blocking up. Here's another 7. One of these must be a 7 now, because we have 4s and 7 here, right? What are these? One of them is a 1, that's for sure, and this one blocks this square, so here's a 1, and the last digit is a 6, which now blocks across. This also blocks across, so here's a 6, 4, 7, and a 3 here now. 4, 7, 3 goes here or here, 7 can't go here. Oh, that's a little messy. And I'm not talking about the football player, of course. That is spelled differently. 3, 4, 7, 8 here. 8 blocks down. So yes, so one of these is an 8. And we also have 8 blocking up and over here. Here's an 8. 3, 4, 5 here now. 5 goes here or here, but we knew that. 3, 4, we don't know anything about. 7, 8, 3, 4, 7, 8 over here somewhere. 8 here or here, and here or here. I should probably direct my attention toward other areas of this grid, because I'm not making much headway here in the center shoot. I do see a 5, though, in one of these squares here. And frankly, it must be this square here, because this 5 blocks here, this 5 blocks here, this 5 blocks here. So yes, it's correct. A 5 must go in this square here. Sometimes you stare so long at something that you end up not being able to solve anyway, and then you overlook the obvious. At least that happens to me very often. Apologies for that. I don't try to make these videos longer than they absolutely have to be, because I am mindful of your time spending watching videos. You're probably not watching just mine. So a 3 and a 4 here now. And I don't really know what to do about that. 3 here or here though. 1 and a 4 here, 5 and a 7 here, because we got 5 and 7 here, right? And we got this 5 blocking down, so this is a 7, this is a 5. We did have a 4, 7 up here, didn't we? So now this is a 7, this is a 4. And we got 2 7s blocking up and down, and we got 1 blocking across, so here's another 7. And if these are 1 and 4, these therefore must be a 9 and a 6. And these, of course, a 1, 4, and an 8. We know 1 and 8 block down here, so that makes this a 4. And this is now a 1, 8. The 1 blocks down, making this an 8, and this a 1. This 8 blocks up. This blocks over. Here's another 8. This last square can only be a 4. Now we got 4 blocking across here, making one of these a 4, blocking across here. Therefore, a 4 goes here. And this 4 blocks up. This 4 blocks across. Here's another 4. 1, 8 still. And therefore, this can only be a 3. This 3 blocks up now. So here's a 3. And therefore, this is a 3. Blocking down. And blocking up rather, I should say, and we do know that these are 5 and 3. We know that from earlier. So here's a 3, here's a 5. Blocking down, here's a 5. This square therefore can only be a 4. Therefore this square can only be a 4. And this must be a 1. Now we got a 1 blocking up, and we know one of these is a 1, one of these is a 1. So right now it's not a huge help. 9 and a 6. Still no joy, but let's see if we can't figure it out. We could start with this empty square, of course, which has got to be a 7. And that makes this a 7. And this must be an 8. And that makes this a 1 and this an 8, of course. The 1 blocks across, this 1 blocks up. Here's another 1. The 9 blocks over here, so here's a 9. And therefore this can only be a 6, making this a 6 and this a 9. And here is another 6, and that 6 completes the puzzle for today. I hope you enjoyed it and that you'll come back for more soon. Thank you for stopping by the channel, and goodbye for now.